This week on the show, we're featuring Aquamarine, Moonstone under the microscope cam, chocolate macadamias on Why'd I Buy That, 5 new jokes, and less division than a political advertisement. Well, that's pretty easy to do. No, I did that one backwards. What did we say we're going to do for the show this week? Pulling up the intro. More love than money. Well, that kind of goes without saying. Anyways, where's the joke? Ooh, get ready for this one. Where does ice cream go sailing? In the sorbet. Let's start the show. This piece of aquamarine has a lot of inclusion. I actually zoomed in when I took the photograph up in the corner just to make sure I got a lot of that inclusion in the picture. Wasn't sure what to do with it. It's kind of big. It's got a lot of color at one end, not a lot of color at the other end. I was going to try and do something with the side of it for a while. But then I figured the top is just as big as the side, and there's more color in the top. So why not do that? But I didn't actually get to that decision until... Where are we at? There we go. I didn't actually get to that decision until I ground out a lot of the imperfections, which is what I'm doing with this first video here. Just grinding down the sides of it, getting it smooth, getting rid of all the pits, getting rid of all the lines. It's a hard stone. Even with all those inclusions, the stone part itself is hard. It wound up being rather frustrating to try and line everything up. I actually wound up grinding it down a lot smaller than I wanted to. It's probably like 10% smaller than it should be. But it turned out to be a pretty little gem. And it still has the color in it. That's the important part. Still having that aquamarine color. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for saying hi. Hi there. Welcome everybody. Hi Colette S. Hi Colette. Says Nailed It Outdoors. Hi Nailed It Outdoors. I was thinking I'd like to do something with the chat bot. Chatbot greets people when they come in. How did I get it to do that? Users. Events, that's what it is. Events. Alright, so we got to come over to users. And we copy the ID for Nailed It Outdoors. And then we go to events. Paste it. And then we type a message. Nailed It Outdoors channel. Make sure I spelled it right. You know, there's so many O's in the word outdoors. Who knows? I might just put those O's everywhere. And then we gotta come over here and find the channel. And then we copy the channel. Paste it right on in there. And we click submit. Oh, gotta have a username. Okay. Bumping into things. There we go. All right. Now, the next time Nailed It Outdoors types a comment, the chat bot should post his channel name or link. One of those things. I'm glad you know how to do that. I know how to do some things. That's where I get a lot of my confidence. It's from knowing. See, this is the side that I was thinking about keeping. But it's kind of thin on the one end, and all the colors in the other end. I figured it starts to have that shape on there, so when I turn it sideways, it really has a good profile. So I went that direction. Ooh, is that green like Peridot or more blue? It's more of a blue. I think green is Heliodor. No, what am I saying? Green is Emerald. Okay, yeah, that's the end of that section of videos for footage 5. Footage 4, let's go to footage 5. Okay, there we go. See, that's the end profile. That looks more like a gem already. Why not just shape it up? Yep, pretty much the same either way. Keeping more color in it that way. So that's what we go with. Caramel Pop, welcome to the show. That is a blue gem. Aquamarine is blue. If the same chemical compound that makes up aquamarine is pink, it's called morganite. If it's clear, it's called goshenite. And if it's green, it's called emerald. Which I did actually shape some emerald. And I'll show that under the microscope cam, which we'll get to right now. Let's get to the microscope portion of the program. You're all a fantastic audience. How are you doing this week? Ready for some awesome things and cool stuff? I hope so. Where's Christina and Sud Go Squad when you need her? Microscope portion. We got to get the microscope started up. I did wear an aquamarine-ish colored shirt. I like to correlate the color of the shirt with the color of the gem. It's just that little bit of extra that goes with the show. Am I right? So this here is a piece of emerald that I split with the saw. I think you can see that video last week when I was using the saw to split things. And it has a little bit more color in the one side than the other side. I was hoping that I could expose more of the color if I split it, which I think I did. I haven't polished it down to see, but there's some green in there. I think I'm going to get rid of this little chip piece over here. I don't know. Might wind up coming to this side just because it's got more color in it. This side doesn't really have so much color. It's got more of the white opaqueness. That yawn is brought to you by the excitingness of the show. And then this piece, I'm not sure. We're gonna just try to work with it. I tried grinding some of the black stuff out of it. Some of the shale. Oily shale. And I didn't really keep grinding on it because I needed to get a gem done for the day, and then I wanted to wax my car. Gotta get it waxed for wintertime, you know? Your shirt isn't showing on my phone. There it is. Shirt. Bam. Yeah, I keep thinking I need to set up like the camera so that you can see, you got more like a down picture of me, and then I could put a bunch of gemstones behind me and stuff. I've just been rolling with the same image of me looking at the gem and looking at the stuff as it's going on, and that's supposed to like, we're all looking at the same thing, right? The gem happening. The show. We're all looking at the show. And then I look over here, and I'm looking over at your chats. Funny thing is, I actually had to mirror the image. So when I'm looking this way, I'm actually looking at the show. And then when I look that way, I'm actually looking at the chats, but I flipped the image so that it looks better for the production quality, right? It's all about the quality. We're gonna work on the quality, I promise. Speaking of quality, let's take a look at this aquamarine, huh? Here's the emeralds. The emerald pieces. Now you can see inside. That's about the size of them. Boom, boom, ba-doom. Are you going to do Halloween jokes? Oh, Caramel Pop, in a couple of weeks, I will pull out my Halloween jokes. That's a good point. I should remind myself of that. Thank you, Caramel Pop. I have a collection of Halloween jokes. I actually listed out, like I organized all my jokes, and I specifically wrote out which jokes relate to Halloween. I got, food jokes, I got work jokes, I got car jokes, I got Halloween jokes. So I will totally review the Halloween jokes on the show. Thanks for asking and bringing that up. Roxy Rants, heyo. Gotta have a sandwich made out of that mayonnaise. Spread that mayonnaise. I think this is the Sharp 240, which I used to get rid of the bulk of it. It might be that, no, the Dull 240 has a worn center thing. That's the Sharp 240. Buds and Hazards, how's it going, man? I realized the other day that I wasn't subscribed to you on the channel that I spend most of my time with, which is the YouTube Administrator channel. And now I am. So next time you go live to chat and watch Looney Tunes, we can check out your channel. Hop up on panel and have a discussion. Oh man, I remember some great Looney Tunes. I was always a fan of like the Roadrunner. Yep, that's the Aquamarine. It's got a lot of inclusions in it, so it's not perfect, but it's big. It's bigger than all the other Aquamarines I have, except for like 3 chunks. And it's got some clarity. Despite all those inclusions in it, there is some glassiness to it. And I was like, you know what? We need to do something blue, and we should shape some aquamarine. It'd be fun. And so I went for a pretty basic shape. Needs a little more polish on these side facets. But there it is. That's our blingy bling for the week. And here's the size of it. It's pretty small. But it's got good blue, right? Matches my shirt. Look at the blue in that. That's pretty cool. Make a pretty good little ringstone. Did that by hand. Don't believe me? Watch the video. You'll see it yourself. I got a few jokes this week. Yep, we'll tell a few jokes here shortly. But I want to tell you what I bought, and before that, I want to show you this moonstone. Yeah, look at that flare. Speaking of blue, that's moonstone for you. I got a lot of this moonstone is just, there's no color in it. There's like the tourmaline parts or feldspar parts, and then there's like nothing. It's mostly just white stone, but at the right angle, this area will do that blue like I was showing under the microscope cam. Let's zoom out so we can focus on it. Okay, where are we at? Where are we at? There we go. It's got kind of like a glow to it. And much like opal, I've got to be able to smooth it over without losing that, because that is really, really thin. That flaring out. It's kind of like labradorite, but the white version. Which I have some labradorite that has some really awesome blues. I should show that under the microscope cam. Let's take a note of that. If I can put this here for a second. Labradorite. Yes. Because we need to start working on some of that. I should slice some of that, right? Nice moonstone. The inclusions make it shimmer. Nice. Thumbs up. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Speaking of enjoying things, I actually, before we get to buying things, I actually got a lot of feedback about enjoying the microscope portion of the show. And I'm glad you like it. I like showing things. I like checking things out under the microscope cam. It gives me a chance to look at what I got coming up and get a close look at certain things, you know? And a few people told me they liked the microscope portion. Man, this thing's got some potential in a few spots. Look at that. It's got that blue, it's got that green going on. And it's all just this clear stuff. Clearish white stuff. Pretty cool. The complement to sunstone is this moonstone. And I want to say that that blue stuff there is aquamarine in itself. Part of the reason that it's nice to feature this during the microscope portion. But like I say, I haven't been working on it because I don't want to ruin it, right? Don't get the chance to bid on moonstone very often, so I don't have a whole lot of it. Let's see. Is that all we got for the microscope portion? Yes, but that's not all we got for the why did I buy that portion. You know what I bought? Of course you do, because you're here for the show. I bought some chocolate-covered macadamia nuts. Yep. Didn't know they had them. Saw them. And bought them. Now, I like money. But I parted with it. I set it down and I walked away from the money. But why? Why did I buy that? Chocolate. I like chocolate. Here's what happened: is I went to the port. And that picture I probably showed that, but focused in a different area. That's where I get my pecans. And I was like, I wonder if they have anything else. So I started looking around. I scanned this way. I scanned that way. And I noticed these blue packages. I like blue, in case you can't tell. And boy, isn't that fitting that we have an aquamarine colored package for why I buy that. I noticed it said macadamia, which I don't know. Not real familiar with those. I've heard of filberts, filbert nuts in mixed nuts. They're okay. They're not bad. I like the cashews better. I really like the pecans. That's obvious. But I'm like, what about these macadamia nuts? They're chocolate covered. So already it's a win. Who doesn't love chocolate? They got two kinds. They got milk chocolate and they got dark chocolate. I've been really going for the dark chocolate because it's denser. It's more chocolate per volume. So I bought the dark chocolate ones. Later I went back and bought the milk chocolate ones. Now here's what's weird about these. They're not roasted or baked or whatever it is that makes them shiny on the outside. You know when you have like a malted milk ball or something like that and it's real shiny? The chocolate is real shiny on the outside. These ones aren't. They're dry and it's powdery. And it's actually kind of off-putting. They're kind of chalky at first. But once I eat them, you get into the chocolate, then the chocolate starts to melt, starts to become more delicious. It's very, very good chocolate. I actually wound up eating the whole bag in one sitting, which there's not much in a bag, but still, I was going to use them like a treat, and I wound up eating the whole bag. And then that's when I went back and I bought more, and I wound up eating that whole bag in not one sitting, but two sittings. Yep, ate them fast. That's chocolate for you. That's deliciousness for you. That's why I like it. And that's why I'll probably buy them again. Have you ever bought macadamia nuts? Let's look up and see filbert nuts. Okay, hazelnuts are filbert. The hazelnut is a fruit of the hazel tree. Includes any nuts derived from the species Corylus. They're also known as cob nuts or filberts, according to species. Okay, so filberts versus macadamia. Sometimes called filberts or cob nuts, hazelnuts originated in Asia, while macadamias hail from Australia. Hazelnuts are a true nut in a botanical sense, while macadamias should really be classified as a seed. Their flavors are similar, with the taste of a hazelnut resembling a cross between almonds and macadamias. Okay. So they're not the same, but they're close. Either way, I bought them. They were chocolatey and they were delicious. Kiwi Claw, welcome to the show. I bought a security camera, which is better, milk or dark. Colette, when I buy the next ones, I'll probably get the dark chocolate. Dark, yum, yum, yum. Absolutely. Benny Loco knows they were delicious. Hola, Jacob and Chatland. Hi, Benny and everybody. Welcome to the show. Glad you all could make it. You are so all so awesome. And that's why I'm going to show you some love by telling you some jokes. Not a lot of jokes. Pretty quick show. But that's all right. Because there's a decent one in here, probably. I think that Linux should be produced as a window cleaner. Yeah, I think that Linux should make window cleaner. Because Linux sounds like Windex. And usually Linux is what you use to clean up a virusy version of Windows. So that's the joke. is that Linux is that we should make a window cleaner called Linux. You know, I'm a grown man, 'cause I'll make you groan, man. That's my new pickup line. Social media's biggest mistake has been expecting me to read. Yeah, social media's biggest mistake is thinking that I like to read. Or expecting me to read. I don't know, we're going to work on that one. We're going to work on the show all together. The entire thing. Just keep making it better. I watched the new Batman movie, and I'm confused. How are you going to call a movie Batman and not talk about baseball? It's a complete waste of time. I got a new job playing Skyrim, the video game Skyrim. And even though I'm excited, I gotta be honest, it's not my first rim job. I'm supposed to say that, I'm supposed to emphasize, yeah. I got a job playing Skyrim, and I'm pretty excited, even though it's not my first rim job. I've got an idea to make a dating app called My Own Podcast. Oh yeah, I was gonna mention, I don't know if I told this joke already or not, because I checked all my jokes and it wasn't written down last week. But there's a lot of comedians in the local comedy scene that are making their own podcast, and they're not really live streamers. Otherwise, I'm inviting them to the show, but that's just a task. But they're making podcasts, and I'm listening to the podcast. But and we'll give them shout outs when they come to the show. But that's why I made a joke that I'm making a new dating app called My Own Podcast, where it's really just an excuse to introduce myself to women and check their reaction to my eccentricities. I also thought of another version of that joke where it's like making a dating app called My Own Podcast, where women can create a profile to be a guest on my show. And I'll swipe left or right based on... And then I ran out of the rest of the joke. So we'll work on that one and then bring it back up. And finally, where does ice cream go sailing? In the sorbet. While listening to... Totally not ready this week. The joke portion of the program. Thank you all for coming by and saying hi and checking out the show. Hope you had fun this week. Hope you're ready to have more fun this week. Because it's all up to you. It's up to you to go out there and make it a fun, enjoyable, awesome, pleasant... I'm going to say enjoyable again because I'm clicking on things. Where's it at? Okay, there we go. Pleasant and very much you-ish week. Because there's really three things that put us where we are. Our diet, our environment, and our actions. Now, the environment, that's kind of in the cards that you're dealt. And your diet is limited by certain factors. Like what's available to you, what you can grow, where your environment, basically. But there are choices of yours in your diet that you can make that will affect it, that will affect you and who you are and what you're being, which will then help you with your actions, which this week are going to be awesome because you have the power to do it and you're going to make the right choices. That's part of what makes you all awesome. Like how we have awesome people like Colette S., who comes by the show, and Nailed It Outdoors. We got the chat bot updated for Nailed It Outdoors. Now it drops his channel link. So now we can check out Nailed It Outdoors' channel every time he comes by and says hello. Oh, that reminds me. You can all throw a tomato too. So during the joke portion, feel free to throw tomatoes. Hope I spelled that right. Benny Loco eats nuts and jawbreakers too, because she threw out the jawbreaker face. Caramel Pop made it to the show. Caramel, I am actually, not only did I show the emerald that I'm working on, I am working on that peridot. I was actually, here, I'll show you this piece real quick. Where's it at? Where's it at? This is not the show, that's the show. Turning the microscope on. This is a piece of peridot that I'm working on for the show. Where are we at? Right here. There's a bit of a crack in there, but it's nice green, and it's a pretty good shape. So hopefully I'll be able to get something out of it. And if not, there's the other half of it, which is this piece, which is a little bit more yellowier, but it's got more clarity in it. Nice big surface there. That's the idea behind that. Little bit of a split there. But we're going to try and get some peridot shaped up and shipped out and shown on the show for Caramel Pop, who's a friend that we know. Buds and Hazards made it, and Roxy Rants made it. Two very awesome people. We need to get the thing to drop Buds' link so that you can go check out his channel. I'm going to see if I can find that. Roxy, have you been posting any content on your channel? Buds YouTube. There we go. Buds and Hazards is... Wait a minute. And there. All right. And actually, Caramel Pop, have you been posting any content also? Caramel Pop YouTube channel. And Gordon Ramsay showed up with caramel popcorn. We don't want his channel. We want Caramel Pop channel. All right, I'm going to have to go back to the chats and pull up the channel link. In case you're posting any content. And Kiwi Claw DHA, who's been helping me with a lot of my technical aspects. I try to return the favor. He's making a security system that will have offensive countermeasures like flamethrowers and drone-based missiles and other interesting things that will attack any non-authorized entrants. And Benny Loco, of course, Benny Loco came by to say hi and throw some tomatoes or throw some rocks. Who knows what she's talking about? I love you all so much. I'm glad you were able to make it. Oh, and the Dog Pound snuck in there. All right. Welcome to the show, Dog Pound. It's good to see you, man. Always good to see you. Yahtzee. The Dog Pound should play some Yahtzee. He plays games on his channel. That's why you all got to go check it out. And, oh, before I go, I was going to do this because in like 20 minutes, Tom Kelly's going to drop his show. And hopefully this week, I'm going to try and get up there and see Tom Kelly do a show and visit him live in the old newness of the York, the old city, New York. Yep, gonna tell some jokes. Gonna go check out the comic strip live and see what's happening, which is why that's just one more reason it's gonna be a great week. So I hope I got you fired up and charged up and ready to make it a great week. And I also hope to see you next week and every week at 9 p.m. Eastern. Love you all so much. See you next time.